Episode 2 of this edition of Poker Time. This session we've got, well, if you've seen the last session, you would know already, but that's Wonka right there. And that is Band Teacher's been winning pretty well already. Rafi, one of our newer players.
Not as well as Wonka. Wonka is up a ton right now.
Yeah, it's because he won a monstrous hand against Digital Dan where they got it in pre-flop. $4,800 pot with king-queen off against jacks. Wonka turned to king and scooped the pot.
He's also won a lot of other medium-sized pots. Things are just going well for him.
Indeed.
There's Timmer in the middle there. Looking beardy.
I can't tell where that beard ends and that shirt begins.
That's the mystery. The sensuality of it.
It's like the Costanza poster. That's one of those references no one gets, Grant.
I don't get it.
You know, from Seinfeld, the subtle art of seduction, George Costanza on all fours presenting, like just wearing underwear.
Don't remember that episode.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe you dreamed it.
I definitely didn't. Anyway, here's Band Teacher with
can
two
you be
sevens.
Sure? How could you say definitely? How could any reasonable person say definitely?
So anytime anyone says, maybe you dreamed it, my response is to be, perhaps I did.
Yeah. Or like, you could at least say, there's a small chance that that's accurate.
Maybe there's a large chance, though. How would I know? See? Anyway,
I mean, you can estimate. You can estimate the chances. What you can't estimate is that it's possible. You said the word definitely. That's the problem. I have a problem with it. We're in a problem zone now.
You must be super fun at parties.
You actually know that I am. I'm a delight.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks. I'll take that as the highest compliment.
That's okay. No one saw.
Anyway, yeah. So Wonka's been winning a lot. Band Teacher's been winning a little. Digital Dan's been throwing the party for everyone.
That's
been about it.
Raked over the coals
so far. That is not Joseph, but that is. Sometimes he'll play this hand, and he's playing it.
This is one of those times. All right, let's party. 7 deuce.
Digital Dan looks like he's got a hand. Nope.
Nah. Wonka has a
he's been 3-betting.
Reasonable-ish hand.
He usually never calls here. Usually 3-bets or folds, and usually folds, and he does once again.
Ken could 3-bet this. Besides just a call.
Yep, brings in Band Teacher. Everybody's dominated.
Everybody.
Well, when I say everyone, I guess
well,
I just
Digital
mean
Dan
Joseph.
Dan would have flopped the nut full house.
But he would have gotten no real action. That's what he's smiling, but there's no real money. Oh, that card would have been good for Digital Dan.
Joseph and Band Teacher are very likely to split this pot if it ends up going to showdown.
Indeed.
But of course, Band Teacher does have
get hit a 4.
Straight draw to go with his 7.
Yep. Actually, yeah, it's a deuce is the only way they split the pot, right?
No, there's a lot of split.
Oh, you're right. All the cards are over a 7. My mistake. For example,
the Jack of Diamonds.
Yeah.
We're not playing the 7 deuce game, by the way. Joseph just decided to play 7 deuce.
Well, I saw the reader went out.
Joseph is going to go for a little value here.
I guess he's trying to get called by a 3?
Or 2 5s or something. He does get called. They will chop it up.
Chop it up. Chop. 80. Is there chop?
And excitement reigns.
R-A-I-N-S or R-E-I-G-N-S?
A little bit of some, a little bit of the other, you know? Give me some for column A, some for column B on that one.
Okay.
R-A-I-G-E-N-S.
Reagan's. Why is there an L when you did it?
That's just because it's a silent L.
Oh, but it's not a silent. It's an
invisible L.
It's an invisible L. Yeah.
All the rules of grammar are very challenging.
Yeah.
English is one of the most complicated languages, but you know that.
Of course I know that.
That's what these guys are talking about right now.
Joseph is like, can you believe I before E except after C? Can you fucking believe they did that to us?
And before A, by the way.
I
as
mean,
a neighbor
come
and
on.
way. Like, what the hell? Anyway, Rafi, maybe not the tightest player in Portland. Opening 10-7 suited under the gun.
As according to Wonka.
Yeah. But Wonka, you know.
It's possible that might not be his hand because it's just been removed.
Oh. But
it is. It is his hand.
Joseph going nowhere with 2 cards of some sort or another.
Could be 7 deuce.
Less
Right.
likely now that we've seen some
Sixes.
deuces and a 7. Ken did call that.
Ooh,
I
Ken.
was worried about that.
Oh, no, he folded.
Okay.
Good job,
Nice,
Ken. Bad job,
Band
whoever.
teachers just seen a lot of flops.
Bad job, interns.
Yep. Band
Gut
teacher
shot.
flops the gutter and pair for Rafi. Rafi probably going to continue on this, but chooses not to. Safe card for everybody. Band teacher could start betting his gutter, but chooses not to. Surely Rafi's going to bet now, right? And I got to tell you, Joseph is the kind of guy who likes to call with 2 6s in this spot a lot. And there he is. And he's just not getting the right odds to draw to that straight.
Don't think Rafi can go for value here.
Band teacher would have made the second nuts,
He would have.
but there wouldn't have been any more money to win. So that's another reason why the fold was good.
He looks very upset.
Yep. Band teacher looks more upset now.
Fuck my life.
Yep.
Felt the need to do a little editorializing there.
I
That's
mean-
our job, buddy.
I mean, Bandy, the bot was $235. It's not like it was not like if it was like shove call, insta
Yeah.
call, that'd be one thing. Of course, then you wouldn't even like your hand
Then
that
you'd
much.
probably be losing.
Yeah, but fine. But like bet, big bet and call or something like that, right?
Where you hit your gutter on the river.
Yeah, I hit my gut in the river.
Oh, is that what cost it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Jack 8.
Jill Jack 8.
But you know,
What's the best starting 7 letters to get in Scrabble?
Get a bluff through.
YHGIOPF.
That can't be true.
Ask Rafi. I've talked to him about this.
I don't believe you.
You thought about it.
There's got to be an X in there.
That's crazy.
X is the highest value.
Yeah, but that's crazy. 2 hearts for Digital Dan. This is a pretty good spot. He's supposed to win this one almost always.
Just take it. Get out of here.
He does. Digital Dan puts one in the column of the good guys.
Is that his first win of the whole session?
I think it is. That's why I was saying that. Yeah.
It might not be, but it feels like it because he's been losing the really big ones.
He's seemingly lost everything. He did a bluff catch. I think it was hand number 3 or something like that against Band Teacher in the last episode, where with middle pair, which cost him cost him about $1,000, and then of course the wonka hand happened for another 2.4K. Digital Dan
Living the life of pain.
looks like he's trying to keep good spirits at least outwardly.
Digital pain. Is it even real?
If it's digital,
That's actually the title of my book. It's called Digital Pain, : Is it even real?
it's gonna sell pretty well.
750-page book.
Random House or
No, it's by a publisher you haven't heard of. It's indie.
Then you want to go down to like
cool.
1 second.
Yeah, it did.
Joseph with 6s once again.
Look at this flop for Ken.
Yeah.
Middle pair, not flush draw. Timur, of course, doesn't hate the flop either.
Now Ken can call, Ken can raise. Both are pretty reasonable here.
I kind of like a raise.
I do too, just because if you make your flush, hard to get action, right?
Yep. And
Hard to get a lot of
Timur's
action.
got a stack that you're willing to get it in against with this hand.
Yeah. Ken does put in the raise right now.
I think you had the Jack 8.
Timur probably can't fold yet.
No, but it kind of sucks. You'd love
Yep.
to have the queen of spades here.
Having only $640, Timur could decide just to go with this. Try and shut out the king of spades here. Now he'd get called because Ken also has the jack of hearts, but
He said he was the number 1 cruncher.
47%
Most
equity
of
is enough to go with.
Ken's kings are calling because they either have a gut shot to go with the king of spades or a pair.
What just happened here? Timur just re-raised.
Yep, and
Did he mean to? I don't think he meant to. He
No,
was
I-
trying to call.
Dude, it was my side.
well, Ken has called, and we're
So-
going to the turn.
Well, okay.
Played some 10
That's weird. And
And
that,
there's the ten of spades.
that
and-
makes it pretty easy for Timur, I think.
Yeah, just give up.
He only has $450 left. That's too bad. Boy, he's really upset that he accidentally put in the min click raise, huh? 250 there.
shaking, clicking the mouse. We have 4 bad.
I don't think he was trying to raise.
It's hard to know.
It was like 7, 8.
It's a weird raise to make. Usually go all in or not.
Ken checks it right
I like
back.
that Ken checked it back.
I don't think he's gonna get action no matter what, though.
Me either, but it was a good try. especially when Timmer only has the 450 back.
You could play with different skins. So you could play like
Oh, you had different
underwater.
backgrounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken bets, was it 400?
Easy fold for Timmer.
Good job by Timmer. It's possible you got bluffed off of a chop, but not too often.
So be it.
It's really only like trip sevens for Ken that he can have there for that we would have been bluffed off of, right? Maybe ace queen once in a while.
Which is Timmer's hand.
Oh, sorry, ace jack. Ace jack.
What I fold?
Timmer really short now. Wonka, 5K though. These guys are the agony and the ecstasy right next to each other.
Sure.
The before and the after.
Raise 35.
Wonka's the before. With all the money, then you go to a casino, and Timmer's the after.
So sick.
Fold, fold. Fold. Fold.
El Digitale. This is pretty reasonable defend here. Doesn't have to, though, against the under the gun.
I would expect to defend most of the time with that hand.
Yeah, but it's really fine just to throw it away.
Where's over here? I got it before.
Suited, of course, you're going to defend.
You better. You're not invited back to poker time if you don't defend Jack 9 suited for one raise.
I mean, we've seen some pretty whack folds pre-flop on Poker Time, I must say.
From people who were never invited back.
Joseph, I think, has made some whack folds.
That's true.
He's back.
Because he does some whack other stuff
He
too.
does. Anyway, here's Timmer under the gun now.
See, it's external, internal.
Fold.
I like my ace for about half a second.
Now the ace of spades was on the board, right?
Ace of
Raise
spades is
35.
alright. I had the king.
But he's got the
Oh, you have the king.
I do.
Fold.
Well,
Fold.
I thought you had the queen.
See, that's a whack thing that Joseph is doing.
At least he's on the button.
I mean, Ken's opening pretty wide here, but at least he's on the button kind of glosses over how kind of ridiculous this call is.
No, you're 100% right. It's not nearly good enough
barrel
to
off
call.
a missed
The
flush.
button is not nearly good enough reason to call.
It has happened.
Obviously, that's what I'm counting on.
It has
Wonka
happened.
flops best here with the open ender.
I'm not gonna lie. It has
But
happened.
I'm supposed to fold because.
See if Joseph takes a shot here. I think he probably should.
Wonka might call, might raise. It's a relatively well disguised draw, so you could call and still get action if you get there.
True. It's not a bad time to raise, though, either, from Wonka's point of view. This board is all him. Joseph's going to have a lot of bet folds here.
As we see, he definitely has one right now.
Yeah. Looks like he is pulling out. Well, that maybe is a call. That's a call.
That is a call.
There is the value, like you said. There's if you get there, it's really hard to see.
Well, he got there, but not exactly in the way he wanted to.
Joseph picks up a double gutter on that card,
Yep.
by the way. That is a hell of a card.
Still only at 16% equity.
But he's got to feel so much better about everything. By the way, well, nothing else. I got nothing else to say.
Okay.
Check, check, and here's a king. See if Joseph takes a shot.
Yeah, Wonka's not going to be betting this.
No.
If Joseph bets, what's he repping?
He could have rivered a king. He could have a bad 8.
Could have king 8 suited.
He could have like 7-5 or 6-5 maybe.
He is betting.
Not really betting a 5, I guess. So it's usually an 8 or a
Oh, he's
king.
going for a pretty big bet here, it looks like.
230 into 270. Yeah. He's saying I rivered 2 pair. So he's now repping like king 8 suited.
Yeah.
King 4 suited, maybe king 4 suited. The story is a little strange.
Yeah, I think this is a time for a smaller bet, actually, to rep more. Wonka smells something.
He
He makes the call.
does make the call.
Nice
story
call.
was not good enough.
It's a nice call.
100% he gets the 5. Nice.
Oh my God! It's
Possible Joseph
Maybe you can. It's like you can see the
bets
cards.
turn and river. He gets a fold there on the river, but
Yeah.
that's what it was probably going to take.
Who knows? Maybe a smaller bet on the river even has a better chance.
It has a better chance. I think Wonka's probably calling there too. Probably, but
Hard to know.
yeah.
I just.
It's one of the better hands Wonka's going to end up with there by the river, a 5.
Yeah.
So, like, he's going to fold. He can fold all his 4s and deuces if he wants to, but he's probably calling with his 8s and his 5s. Combine that with the bad story.
I mean, I definitely.
Is that a limp?
No, yeah, no.
Is band teacher just limp?
Nope.
All right, no limping.
Or at least you got upset about it.
No one limps in my clarinet section. Do you think he watches the movie Whiplash and roots for J.K. Simmons?
I think he watches the movie Whiplash and thinks, I am exactly the same as J.K. Simmons.
I wonder how many you're dragging jokes he's gotten in his life.
Hey, check out this flop. Timmer flops top pair
Yeah.
with a reasonable kicker, and Ben Teacher flops the nuts straight.
Timmer just donks it right out.
What a miracle for... I mean,
It's
Ben
time to
Teacher's going to
raise.
get the rest of Timmer's money, right?
Well, if he raises right now, he's got a shot at it. Yeah, it looks like he is raising right now. This is the way to get it. Timmer's going to have to go with this.
With this stack, yeah.
Yep. Ben Teacher can absolutely have hearts here. He can have a worse 9, considering Timmer's stack. He just happens to have the nuts.
I have 4 kids. One daughter's already married.
Looks like Timmer's going to let this go.
He's just giving it a look. Oh,
He
man.
does! 355 left. He lets it go. Wow.
I mean, he was right that time. I don't
sure
know.
was.
I don't know if that's a good way to play that hand when you have that stack, but it certainly worked out well that time.
I think it probably works better as a check raise, honestly,
Yeah.
that hand. But he probably lost the minimum there. He probably feels like he's getting beat up a little bit, but Ken had the nuts, the nut flush anyway.
Yeah.
Band Teacher had the nuts. He's just running into it a little bit right now.
Yeah.
Well, I might have got the max then.
Well, he hasn't gotten stacked. He's preserved a small bit of that. Of course,
Maybe.
problem is if he gets a double up now, it's not a big double up. He's still going to be down for the day.
You probably saved a bunch of money by Ben Teacher's 3-bet and Wonka's 4-bet early on in last episode when he had jacks when Wonka had queens and Ben Teacher had ace king. And
Yeah.
he would have turned a jack, which would have given Wonka the straight and him a set.
Yeah, it would have been a scary board, but he certainly would have paid off at
Yeah.
least one straight. For sure.
Ben Teacher feeling good, opening under the gun with the 5-4 spades.
This, I think, is going to be a call from Wonka.
Yeah, it's a
This
nice,
is too good on the
nice
button.
hand on the button. They're both deep.
Band Teacher's wide.
Ken gonna come along in the big blind.
Ken gonna Ken. No, obviously this is fine.
What a flop for Band Teacher. He
Oh,
has the
amazing.
open-ended straight flush draw. Wonka with top pair. Ben Teacher's gonna check it. I suppose going for a check raise.
Wonka very understandably reaching for chips here. He does have the best hand, but not the best equity.
Now, if Ben Teacher does check raise, what story is he telling? Is he saying I have a set or a draw, or does he have overpairs in his range?
That's an interesting question. I think he can have overpairs in his range here. There's not too much he's losing to, really. Wonka, of course, can have sets, can have top 2, but
So
that's
can
it.
Ken, and Ken can have all the 2 pairs. Although Ken didn't raise just now. So
Yeah, exactly. Ken doesn't. Ken usually is losing to an overpair here.
looks like that is a raise. Huge raise.
Yeah, monstrous raise.
And Wonka's got a hand that doesn't have that many prospects. It's probably good just to let it go.
I think so. Ken has an easy fold, and
Nice hand, Bandy.
he shows him the 5 high.
5-4 spades.
That is a pretty 5-5.
Pretty damn good 5 high.
Yep.
Nice hand.
That's a fun draw. But
That was a fun little draw.
I'd like to see the river on that.
Yeah.
I had a pair.
We have to wait till the end, right, Brian?
Just over 14K in the pot. The turn is the 4 of diamonds.
Hey, what is that? Speaking of turn, coming around the mountain? Is
Oh.
that the Nitrogen Sports Poker Train?
I think they did buy a train recently.
If you listen, you can hear its very familiar jingle. And choo-choo. Wait, there's the jingle. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Wow, that's the weirdest ad ever. All of a sudden. Anyway, Nitrogen Sports Poker Room is, they let us do ads like this.
They
Perhaps
do.
because they don't listen to them.
Free reign, baby. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Just get a little. Just get a shoulder rub.
if it's a new you.
Brian.
Did you take a shot?
Rafi looks also a little bit like Mark Zuckerberg. A little bit.
Sorta.
A little bit like,
I think you're stretching to find people that Rafi looks like. Anyway, wheel has queens.
hey, Mr. Belvedere against Mark Zuckerberg right now. Joseph looks a little bit like Jason Statham. Especially when he's got that mean mug
Did
on.
you say Jason Statham?
Statham with an H. Statham.
What are you saying?
Statham. Jason
Okay.
Statham.
Statham. Yeah.
Statham. Basically what I'm saying. Hey, Timur has kings. Whoa.
Hey, maybe it's finally going to go okay for Timur. I imagine they're just getting it in
They
pre-flop.
should be getting it in here.
Timur only starting with 350. No need to Hollywood. Just put the money in.
Wheel is always going to Hollywood a little bit, but he gets it in pretty quick. He says
Yep.
all in.
Timur, of
obviously
course,
gonna
will call.
All right, gentlemen.
Here we go.
Please show your hands.
Wheel's got queens and spades and a few unlikely straights. That is going to do it unless he hits a queen. Nope. Double up for Timur.
Weird that you say that's going to do it on the turn.
I said unless he hits a queen.
Yeah.
I meant that he didn't pick up any additional outs. Of course, that was true from the flop. I just didn't get it. It was all going out so fast for me. But you think I'm Mike Postling it over here? That's going to do it.
You can Mike Postle it from the commentator
Why not?
zone.
Good hand.
Hey,
Why
let's
not?
take a look at these cumulative winnings.
There
Digital
we go.
Dan taking it on the chin.
Almost all of Wonka's profit coming from Digital Dan, both numerically and in truth.
Yeah. Joseph not doing great either. Band teacher having a pretty good session.
Yep. Really, just Wonka and Band Teacher enjoying the fruits of their hard labor. Not hard labor. That's
Card
labor.
labor.
Yeah, I should.
What about charred labor?
Huh.
That's a different thing. It's about Swiss chard,
Yeah.
which is a vegetable. People tend to enjoy it in the summer, the winter, the fall, and the spring.
I'm not sure if people really tend to enjoy it.
It depends on how you season it
Well, yeah. I mean, if you fry it, everything tastes
and how
good.
you cook it. It's like eggplant. You know, it's hard to cook eggplant well. Comes out slimy a lot.
Why would it be called eggplant?
So
So,
it looks like a big old purple egg, like Barney's egg.
Barney's egg. Eggs are not necessarily the color. Forget it. Let's not do this. All right, open for
Barney's
Wonka
egg.
from the hijack. Timur feeling flush now.
Feeling special and wonderful.
This is where though having that short stack hurts him when he coolers wheel, but can't get a huge double. Can't even get back to even.
Yeah, this is why people reload.
Yeah. All right, got a little five-way action here.
5 players.
And that is going to be in a lot of people's wheelhouse here. We got a gutter for
Speaking
Ken.
of wheelhouse, wheel with the up and down wheel draw.
Nice.
It's not actually a wheel draw, but
Nothing for Wonka. Timur with middle pair. Looks like he's going to bet it.
Ken with a gut shot, but he's got a lot of players to act behind. I think I like a fold.
He better hope he doesn't hit that gut shot because
He really
Wheel will
better.
have the nuts.
Wheel could raise here. Decides just to call.
Yeah, there are a lot of players in the hand. It's not crazy to just call.
The problem is that the draw people are going to be on the most lookout for is King Jack.
Correct. Let's see if Timur bets again. Usually this is probably going to check through unless Ken wants to take a shot. Ken often will not take a shot here, though. He'll usually check this.
He's giving it some thought, though.
Yeah,
He does have that denim jacket.
but he does check. And there's another queen. And Timur is best here with queens
He
and
should
tens.
feel pretty confident. Wheel's the only one who could really
Right.
have a queen.
If Wheel doesn't... Wheel is now checked, and
I don't
Timur's
know.
gotta think
I don't know
he
if
usually
Timur
has the
should bet though, because he could be outkicked.
He could, but...
He actually
But what?
played a little poker with me.
I mean, he could be out kicking people, too. The Jack plays.
I'm just not sure if it's worth a bet.
It's the big blind and the button cut off, and it's Ken. I don't know, man. I think they have some worse tens. It's close. I think it's okay to go for a little value there.
It's mostly Omaha.
I mean, no 9 for Wheel. He might have gotten it all from Ken if a 9 had come.
Yeah.
We've seen Ken sometimes go ham.
Yeah, we've seen him with when he hits a straight. I think once before. It was many moons ago, but he hit a straight, and
It was the second nuts.
it was maybe even the third.
Oh
nuts.
no! It was a 1-card straight. There were like 4 cards to a straight out there, and he had the 5th card. And it was like in the middle of
And
it.
he went kind of nuts with it. Yeah.
I think he like 3-bet all in or something like that and got called by the nuts. Yeah. It was in a spot where like the 3-bet was
It sounds fun, yeah.
never going to generate him any profit. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like the spread limit stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
Joseph's been quiet this episode, but Wonka,
He's been loud.
that guy is like
He's screaming at all times.
a hairband from the 80s.
Yeah.
So loud.
Raise 80.
But once in a while, a melodic ballad pushes its way
Yeah,
out.
they got a nice little piano section at the beginning. It's
Yeah.
like 4 minutes long, and then they drop the hammer.
No,
and
they
you're
don't do
like,
that. They don't do that. They didn't do that. They just did straight ballads. That was the big
Sometimes,
thing.
sometimes, but haven't you heard "Come Sail Away"? You dumb idiot.
Hey, so Ken just 3-bet ace-8 of clubs, and
Yeah.
Wonka does call, even though he's out of position with a hand that is often trouble, but way ahead. But back to being in trouble.
Maybe you've heard of a little thing called Bohemian Rhapsody. You foolish
not a ballad.
moron.
Not a ballad.
Kind of is at the beginning. What I'm saying
Little.
is sometimes they drop the hammer.
Also, that was not an 80s hair band.
I mean, whatever. They had hair. And that came out in the 80s.
So Ken gets lucky, hits his 8, but really he was lucky just that Wonka missed.
I think Dan's doing pretty good overall, though.
Good.
Some good spirits. Survived his drinking match.
I'm not going to listen to Sticks with you anytime soon.
So what do you think about Wonka's face?
That's a great question. I've been meaning to
There
talk
it is.
about it.
Yeah, what do you think about it? Like,
I think
on,
it's
on a scale of 1 to 10,
I think
how
it's a
punchable?
I think it's a human face.
Yeah, how punchable is it?
It's not punchable.
I think it's pretty punchable.
You have problems, man. You have violence issues.
Just towards
I never see him.
guys with punchable faces like
Maybe it's
Wonka.
because you always turn off the 80s bells before they let the hammer drop in, so you never let all your aggression out. So you're trying to let it out on Wonka right now.
What's up with that facial hair, Wonka?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Actually, he looks more clean cut than normal. In truth,
What kind of problems you got, man? What you trying to do?
just trying to start a little trouble. Here's an open ender for Timmer.
Not much for Joseph's except for the backdoor nut flush draw. Timmer's going to bet it, and I think Timmer's just going to win it.
Joseph could float once if he really wanted to.
Seems ambitious. Timmer's been
Certainly is
pretty tight.
ambitious.
Timmer has been quite tight, in fact.
Yeah. Joseph's considering it, but there's the fold. Classic Joseph push the cards
The
fold.
comeback is on. Timmer did not reload, started with 1,000, and he's back to just down $5 after just kind of slowly rolling down the hill for a while.
Yeah.
Front of me for you keep playing.
Was he down to like 360?
350, I think.
Yeah.
I appreciate you donating that small pot.
Pretty good.
I have the ace of hearts.
Dan said he's going to dress up as E Honda for a Street Fighter Mortal Kombat themed Halloween party.
Nice.
I was like, that's going to be pretty hilarious.
Dan is, that is funny.
Queen 3 gonna fold. How surprised would you be to see Wonka open Queen 3 under the gun?
I would assume that there was a software error.
Yeah. There are some players who might do that at this table. Joseph might randomly do that once in a while, you know?
Yeah. Most of the other players, I wouldn't assume that, but Rafi and Wonka and probably Digital Dan, I would be pretty sure there was a mistake. And teacher takes it down nice and easily.
Like,
Digital Dan looks like he's like a Californian right now with those glasses up on his head.
Californian.
Yeah.
Is that derogatory?
How is that derogatory?
I don't know.
Yes, it is. You like California, like from the SNL sketch, The Californians?
Don't they have to be super blonde?
Okay, but Dan's got the white hair. It's not his fault. I mean, leave him alone.
You're talking about what he looks like.
Yeah.
That's part of his appearance.
Yeah, but you can be gray and in California. They let you in.
What was the drink of choice during the match?
You are really
Kilo the whole time?
wow.
What am I?
I think he drank
You're just
15
insufferable.
Browns.
Oh, no.
In the best possible way.
We'll with the Rays.
Oh, Dan.
I know, that's a lot of nut brown.
That's a lot of
Yeah, look at it's Dan's haircut is part of it too.
but
He's rocking the tan.
What are you talking about?
It's really mostly the glasses up. He's above his head and the haircut, I guess, and just the smile. He looks like he's easygoing. Good vibrations, you know.
It's like 2 an hour.
Wonka defends the Queen 5 suited.
Hurt your head, but the beer would hurt your head and your belly.
Wonka flops a 5.
But that's not going to be the hand that feels best about this. Definitely Wheel feels better about this flop.
Correctamundo. That's big too.
Is that a Californian word? Correctamundo? Correctamundo, bro. Let's go surf the waves.
Yeah, the floor one.
Get your skateboard to bring your surfboard down to the waves.
Wonka can't be loving it, but he absolutely knows he has to call
We
at
all
least
have
one straight.
long hair.
They do not all have long hair.
I'm doing Point Break, California.
Okay.
Got the flush now for
This
Wheel.
is a card that Wonka could lead.
I mean, he could, but he also has showdown value.
Yeah, of course.
Well, now he might actually pay off when he rivers top pair. Although, of course, it is not.
Pay off. I mean, he would win, right?
What are you talking about?
Wheel has the best hand. I would expect him to pay off here.
Little weird hands.
I mean, that card was better than expected.
I don't think I'm good. but
Want to see one?
I might be chopping at least. I don't know.
Yeah, there's the call. Chopping a little bit. Chopping against like queen 10 and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Wheel checked back the flush in the turn, which
Yep.
I think confused Wonka.
Yep, and it did earn him the extra $100. I'm pretty sure Wonka would have folded on that card.
Yeah.
Had wheel bet. That said,
Big hand.
there's a bunch of hands that Wonka has there that are going to pay two more streets.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when Wonka has trip sevens.
Nice turn card.
Lots of players will check back when they make their draws because they're afraid of getting action. But overall, in deep stack cash games, it's probably better to bet them in general on most boards.
Yeah, usually. Especially if you're going to bluff with them. Bluff those draws when they come in at
Yeah.
other times. You got to bet them when you hit at least a fair amount of the time, too. But, I mean, it's
looks
good,
like
it's good to have a mix.
Have a little misdeal here.
Oh, look at that. Our dealer, Brittany, letting everyone down.
Wow, that's harsh.
Really too bad.
She's done an excellent job, Jonathan.
She's been one of our main Poker Time dealers for years.
We should all take a moment.
She's done a great job. This is probably the biggest mistake she's ever made. It's too bad it's on camera.
Well, we might have to move her over to the interns.
Yeah, she can just intern in. We'll get one of our other trusty dealers on this. We have another Brittany dealer. Maybe we'll just go with the other Brittany.
Interchangeable Brittany's.
Of course, our other main dealer is Devin, who you may have known from such must-see shows as the World Series of Poker Main Event Final Table.
Yeah. Overqualified for
Yeah.
poker time.
You could say. We're running a shoddy little operation over here while Devin is dealing the last hand when Johnson wins the main event.
Yep.
But that's how we roll on Poker Time. We're overqualified.
We shoot for the stars, so you can land
Even when
on the moon.
Exactly. Of course, people act like that's a good thing.
There's no oxygen.
Yeah, a lot of death. Nothing for anyone here.
Open ender now for Wonka, and Joseph has the gut shot.
Yep. Wonka's going to bet his open ender. 15 to 8. Joseph defends pretty quickly. I'm a little
He could
surprised.
be ahead, and he is.
He could.
Oh, this is a disaster card.
What a terrible spot.
This session had been going so well for Wonka.
Wonka's going to have to bet this too. Joseph, of course, is going to raise.
It would be illegal not to.
I don't see how. That's not true anymore.
Okay, whatever.
I'm not sure. I don't see how Wonka's not going to pay off here at a minimum.
If Joseph knew Wonka's hand, how big should he make it? All in, I guess.
I think all in would be the move.
How much should he make it without knowing Wonka's hand? 500?
You want to show me one, Nick?
No.
550, something like that. Go big and hope he's got a big hand. Even bigger. 625. That's big.
Well, I can't imagine I get away, but
Wonka has no time extensions left.
You have to pay off here.
Absolutely.
jeez, that's not a normal bluff from you, though. I don't even have much time to think.
About 12 seconds.
This would be an absurd fold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
has
makes
to
the
call
call.
there.
Cooler.
The Nutters.
You got the 8-10?
Even Wonka feels that he has to show.
Yeah.
His cooler's so bad.
I was like, it sure doesn't feel like I'm good.
Oh, that is a cooler.
Moose cock gets it. Crazy.
That is
Now-
a bad river card.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Now, I think if Wonka had all four of his time extensions and he used them all, he still would have made that call.
Yeah,
in the
I
end.
agree.
So it didn't hurt him as much as it may look like it did there.
I mean, Joseph could have a set of queens, right?
Yeah.
You guys are even now, Joe.
You're always even. Evens
It'd be
That would
weird.
have been a Garrett Adelstein level fold.
That's exactly right. That's what it would have been. Tough spot there for Wonka.
Uneven here.
Joseph really went for the value there, went big. You know, it worked so well last time. Why not do it again?
Yes, well,
Digital Dan getting involved. He hasn't played a hand in a while.
he's getting involved with a pretty bad hand.
Yeah. Things have not gone well for the digital ones so far.
Tim, we're going to set mine.
Ken gonna call closing the action, getting crazy odds. Just 6-1 closing the action. No big deal with two cards that can make a straight.
It is a big deal, Jonathan.
Top pair for both Joseph and Digital Dan.
This is the problem with playing King 6.
Well, at least Digital Dan's got the backdoor flush draw as well.
Yeah, that helps.
Helps a little. Joseph checks top pair. Wow.
It's a bit surprising being second to last to act.
You see Joseph had a really annoyed look on his face after Dan bet. Like, really? He already thinks he might be losing to Dan.
I mean, he could be. He very well could be.
Of course he could. Dan could have king jack.
King queen, king jack.
Pocket eights, of course. But there's no way he's going to fold. I guess that's why he was annoyed. But don't worry, Joseph. You're ahead.
It's just one chip.
Oh, and the club comes on the turn for El Digitale. Look at all those outs for him now.
Makes things interesting for sure.
Any club, any queen, any eight.
I feel like this is going to go check, check a lot of the time.
Any six. Dan gets a chopper win. Dan could bet, though, just to build a pot and check back the river.
He could. He could just be afraid that all queens will fold and all kings that are better will call. And then he's basically just got a flush draw.
Besides the right, you can still get action from queens and jack 10 and stuff. But, of course, as you're saying, all the kings are better than his pretty much.
He is sizing it to try to get action from queens
Yeah.
and jack 10, it looks like.
I like that. I think this is perfectly fine.
I think if you bet big, it would have been a mistake.
Yep. I think Joseph just has to call here, doesn't he?
Too much.
You could consider folding. Is Dan going to bet a worse king again?
You're playing some big pots over there.
You block jack 10, which is Dan's most likely bluffing hand.
That's true.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Pair the board.
And there it comes in.
Gets there.
Digital Dan's so glad he bet the turn now. Hard to get much more value, but it might be able to squeeze a little bit of value here.
He might. Joseph doesn't have a great hand here. He's not going to put Dan on too many flushes.
Whoa, and Joseph's going to lead.
I guess this is a blocker bet. I don't
Yeah,
really see the
180.
value in this bet, though.
It's definitely a blocker bet.
But what are you trying to get value from?
I think he's trying to cut. He knows he's calling. It must be, and so he's trying to cut
But
down
that doesn't
on his
matter. That's
costs.
only half of the equation. If you make a blocker bet, you also have to be able to get called by worse hands.
I mean, you'd really want to be. Ace Queen probably isn't betting the turn,
Nope.
so it's hard to come up with anything. Digital Dan with the raise. Joseph knows he's dead. Well, I say he knows. I shouldn't say that. But he doesn't look happy about it. He immediately lifted his chip off his cards.
Folded the flop. Gosh, Dan just always owns. How do you do it, man? How do you do it? That's all I got.
And he lets it go.
He's Dan. He gets
Dan shows it.
That's friendly.
It's a good reaction by Joseph.
Yeah. Like there was an imaginary fly. It's like, this fly's been bothering me all night.
Digital Dan with his most sizable win of the evening so far.
Been a rough eve.
Yeah.
That was a top from that reaction. The initial reaction does not indicate.
I'm going to test myself, see how I do. It's limited
Well, it
time.
hasn't worked out good so far. You're 0 for 1.
That is true.
Will and Rafi, the fold corner, as I like to call them.
Because they're so good at laundry.
Dude, that's good.
Laundry. Folding.
You're supposed to say origami.
Nah. Laundry. Digital Dan, 2 10s. Is it time for him to finally have some good things
A little
happen?
back-to-back. Well, band teacher's going to call, but he's in huge trouble right now. Digital Dan with quite a stack, too. It's
Well-
all clubs. Both guys have a medium club.
Dan could bet, could check. Both options seem fine.
Yeah, I think I like a bet a little more than a check here.
Because you always like a bet better than a check, and you always like a call better than a fold, right?
Well, there's a bunch of cards we don't want to see on the turn. You know, a bunch of over cards to your 10s. So just betting is
I
fine.
agree. I agree. I think that is a fair statement, though, about your general thoughts on poker, right? If you said that, it wouldn't be always true,
I
but it
mean-
would be mostly true.
I mean, you're generally supposed to, if you're the pre-flop raiser, you're generally supposed to bet. You know, if you've bet on the flop, you're generally supposed to bet on the turn, right? You know, like when someone bets into you, you're generally supposed to call if your head's up. I mean, these are just normal mathematical parts of poker, fundamentals, right? So, yeah, if I'm not sure, I generally lean towards the things you're generally supposed to do. You're right. You're right. But I feel good about that.
That's good.
I don't.
I guess you don't use white magic.
No, not a fan of white magic.
I tried using it once, but I accidentally started crying because of its beauty.
Is 35?
Wheel is, I don't know what, he's just taking his time. Maybe Wheel needs to have a, we give everyone 30 seconds per action. Maybe Wheel needs less time.
Yeah.
10-4 off? I don't know, man. That was just wasted everyone's life a little bit, right?
Yeah.
How about you look at it? Oh, we get 7 seconds for Wheel. Pre-flop only. That seems fair.
Yeah.
One of the favorites on this
One more
game,
time?
you know,
Growth
like the
problems
1-2
are
table the other night. Somebody's like, I wonder where he gets his money. I said, maybe
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
population-wise.
I often put down people's clothes on this show, but I'm loving Joseph's, what is that, a sweatshirt top?
It's a hoodie.
It's cool looking.
Yeah, right.
Battleground.
What material is that? I want one.
And there's a lot of older
Sweatshirt material.
I don't know. It looks like it's got some wicking properties.
Yeah. It's like a glossy sweatshirt material.
Yeah.
I've got a sweatshirt that's got made of that type of material.
I do too, man. I love those things.
It's good for stuff.
That's the same thing. Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Crazy compared to when.
I don't always just put people's clothes down. Like, I'm not going to put down Ken's jean jacket choice.
You're not?
Nope. Not today.
What are your thoughts on Ken's jean jacket? Be honest.
It's a jacket. It's made of denim. It would. You know who would wear that?
Batiste.
If his other ones were in the laundry,
Yeah.
were dirty, he might wear that. See, I haven't put down anybody. All right, we got 4 reasonable hands here.
Well, Ken's 3-bet.
Yep, and Joseph is going to find a call. I think they're just too deep for him not to. That should bring in Wonka, but probably not the digital one.
It's close.
They are deep enough
it's
that the
close.
digital could decide to find a call here.
If he calls, Wonka's almost always calling and not raising. So I think
That's
it's pretty
true.
safe to call here.
The problem is it's not so much about the safety in terms of getting blown off the hand, though. It's in terms of just where you are equity-wise. Like,
Well, you're not looking to flop one pair here with Jack 9 of hearts. You're looking for kind of a bigger flop.
sure, but like when you're 4 ways, sometimes you're up against better hearts, as he is here. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're up against, like, as we see, he's got some real problems.
But you would have snap called with 6-7 suited, right?
Yep.
It's not that different.
Sure would have. It's dominated a little bit less, but you make a fair point.
Meanwhile, nobody has anything.
Yeah. A bet would take it down here, Ken, but
It's tough to pull the trigger
Very
when
tough.
you get 3 calls.
very tough.
You expect at least one player has a king.
There's a gut shot now for Ken. Were it to come in, Joseph would make a set. That would be a bonanza card.
It would be like when Joseph made the nuts against Wonka second nuts
Yeah,
like
be-
half a minute ago.
The 5 of hearts would be the card if we could somehow get to the river and everyone could still be there. Wonka doesn't have anything. Everyone's got to think right now. It looks like Ken has, queens, jacks, 10s, something like that.
Maybe ace queen.
Maybe ace queen.
Ken's going to take a shot, and it does represent queens and jacks quite well.
Absolutely.
From Wonka's perspective, not as well, because of course he blocks both of those.
Right.
Sound.
Joseph thinking about it with 2 5s, but he's got 2 players behind. Maybe he could consider this in Wonka's seat, but he's got Dan and Wonka behind.
I mean, at the same point, it's really hard for either Dan or Wonka to overcall if they've chosen not to bet
That's
on
true.
this turn.
And Ken has sized it in such a way that they probably wouldn't with a lot of hands.
Problem is, though, as we were saying, Ken has a lot of pairs bigger than 5s right here that he's playing.
Yeah.
Like. So unless Joseph wants to turn into a bluff, he may just put himself
I don't know.
in
I
real
think Ken's
trouble.
sizing might have been a bit of a mistake if he was trying to rep 10s, jacks, queens,
That's
because
fair.
he bet about pot there. Would you really do that?
Well, he bet a little. He bet, it was like 575 and the probably bet 425?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't, but I don't know. Ken does some interesting sizing stuff that's different than the way I size.
Yeah.
So. The thing I was thinking is Wonka had an interesting, he didn't consider it, but since he blocked queens and jacks, maybe
Yeah.
he doesn't want to block queens and jacks there, though, actually, right? He's going to make a play after Ken checks and then
True.
bets that board. Maybe you want to not have any queens and jacks.
Yeah.
That's actually better, because those aren't calling you down your check raise anyway, probably. You'd rather have an ace in your hand.
It says
Middle
Wonka folded,
pair.
but he did not. He has king jack. He's going to open.
From your mouth to the listener's ears.
That makes the listening experience probably seem a little grosser.
It's like a wet whisper you just
Yeah.
gave them.
Do you guys feel my wet whisper?
Nice hand for Rafi. We haven't seen him play too many hands. He's probably thinking about, oh, Rafi's going for a 3-bet. The tightest player, maybe not. 150 makes it.
I think this should get through unless Timmer jams.
I mean, Wonka could lose his mind. We've seen him do it with a king high earlier in this session.
Getting
That
a
would
good
be
look
last
at Rafi.
episode.
Real good look at him. Joseph has 5s. Is yet to act.
Rafi's thinking about online privacy there. Joseph's really thinking about this. Is Joseph going to put in a 4-bet?
That would be interesting. Looks like he is.
Wow.
Oh, no, he's
it's
just
a call.
calling.
Jeez, he flats with the 5s.
That does not look like 5s. Looks like 9s, 10s, jacks.
Sure does.
Ace, queen.
Timmer really kind of has to call this. Well, no, he doesn't. He's too short. I'm sorry. He's too
Decides
short.
against. Yeah.
No, he should absolutely fold. My mistake. I forgot that he only had 1,000 in front of him. Rafi can't like that, but turns out he's in decent shape here.
And Wonka would have flopped trip jacks.
Yep. Now, because it looks like Joseph has 9s and 10s and things like that, I wonder if Rafi's even going to take a shot here or just go into give up mode right away.
I think you can bet representing queens, kings, and aces because Joseph doesn't have many jacks in his range, so you would feel comfortable betting those hands.
Oh, sure. That's fair. But you might sometimes check the overpairs too, even though Joseph doesn't have a lot of jacks, just to not scare off your action. But fair enough. A bet here is totally reasonable. Also, Rafi bet really small.
Joseph probably has to call once now.
He does when it's that small. If either guy blows on the pot, I think the other dude's going to fold on the turn.
The
Well, especially
diamond
if the
is
diamond comes.
Not going to be a card Rafi likes seeing here.
I mean, the only diamond spots, the only flushes Rafi has are like ace, king of diamonds, ace, queen of diamonds, right? He has no blockers
I
to that,
suppose
of
he
course.
probably has ace 10 of diamonds if he has king, queen of hearts.
Fair enough, but that's 3 combos. Joseph has a lot of diamonds himself.
Not a lot. I mean, he did call the 3-bet pre-flop.
True, but he called on the flop too.
So it's probably ace, king, king, queen, ace, queen.
Yeah, probably. That's
probably
it.
it.
You're right. You're right. It's just 3 combos also. You're right.
Oh yeah.
Joseph bets 240, and that's the end of that.
Did you get a free room with? Like,
Well, Joseph's stubbornness really pays off that time.
Sure did.
They had like it rented up.
Wonka's lack of stubbornness unpays not on.
Yeah, do you stay in the
I like that.
Thanks. I took words and I changed them.
That's like that
That's like
cut for time SNL sketch. John Bovey,
Oh yeah, it's like that.
where they're the
Yeah.
opposite band. That is pretty great. If you guys have never seen that, worth checking out.
exactly. Yeah, but I'm in the same boat. She likes.
That glass is weird by the pool that surrounds the whole swimming pool, you know.
Oh.
When you're in the
I never
hallway.
went up there. She was up there. It was kind of a little chilly, and like most casino hotels, the hotels block the sun to the pool, so it's always in the shade. And so
Digital Dan raising it up here with King 10 diamonds.
Although,
King 10 diamonds.
it's
Who's got king 10 diamonds? Joseph's
Joseph
got
once
that.
again having a big reaction to
It's like super windy.
Digital Dan putting money into the pot.
Can I do this hand as weird close mouth breather guy?
Please.
Joseph's got ace 4. Oh, this is a good flop for Dan. Oh yeah, he likes to flop a lot. I don't know if Joseph likes it very much though.
I have the ace of diamonds.
He just told me the ace of diamonds. Can't
Joseph
believe
just
it.
said I have the ace of diamonds. That's interesting.
It's a weird thing to say.
Is he going to show it too? Yes, he is.
This is weird for Dan now. He's probably thinking about if he's bet or not.
I think Dan is definitely betting.
Isn't that water freezing now?
Oh yeah,
Water's very.
he likes it. He's betting.
well, I got it up to my ankles just a lot.
My wife and I
Do I
took
get to see one? Am I
catamaran.
the only one being friendly here? Okay, so still, you're not
I'm gonna stop doing that weird voice.
Yeah,
thing
yeah, it
now.
wasn't working. It was a good try.
It might have worked. You don't know what it sounds like through like the.
I mean, I know what it
whole
sounds like
process.
through not the process because I'm sitting right here.
People might have loved it.
Might have is I think the key.
Seems like Joseph had this whole plan, and now it feels like he's just gonna abandon it.
Yeah, we have a two-seater.
I know.
Here's the thing about poker time: you gotta experiment sometimes.
Are you talking about you or talking about Joseph showing the ace of diamonds?
I'm talking about me.
Yeah, I thought so.
They're not all first-round picks.
Nope. Some of them are undrafted free agents. Some of them are playing in Europe. So here we go with our pre-flop raise action.
Pre-flop?
Pre-flop action. Timmer just not raising much.
He's saying just solo.
Wonka, interestingly, is the highest percentage there. That's not normal. We usually see somebody way, way up there.
Oh, we don't have any crazies, I guess.
Yeah, it's
nobody's at the 60%.
Which is
Kevin-
good.
Nobody's in the Kevin range.
I mean, I actually prefer a tighter, more controlled, thoughtful game, personally. And just like that, Timmer raises.
I can't believe it. This guy. He's always trying to make you look bad.
Loves playing in the surf at the beach, but she doesn't want to go in the water. She has to
Getting pretty good hands here.
It's weird because she's a Labradoodle.
We're going to use his allotted 30 seconds and then put in a call. It's my guess. And
he's doing differential equations in his head, Jonathan. Give him a chance.
Space shuttles get launched quicker. Wheel. Ken had actually 3-bet.
Yeah,
King,
so
queen,
it's
a little more reasonable.
It's a bit of a strange thing to call with Queen Jack, actually.
No doubt. Ken's 3-betting a little bit more pre-flop these days with marginal hands.
Maybe a little bit.
Seeing that.
Open ender for wheel.
Gut shot for Ken.
And Timmer has, under
best
pair.
hand. Timmer could make a full house. He'd be very happy.
That would be a great spot for him.
Checks through,
somehow
and
it
there
checks
it
through.
is.
Oh,
look at that.
Miracle card for Timmer.
Oh, man. I mean, how does Wheel not think he has the best hand here?
Of course he thinks he has the best hand. Flush didn't come in.
You're losing almost nothing.
I mean, you're losing to 9s and 8s and I guess 10s, but there's one combo of 10s, and Timmer probably doesn't have 10-9 or 10-8.
Ken calls with the overs and the gutter.
Everybody's drawing dead. They're drawing dead.
Wheel's got to think he's got the best hand. It's very reasonable to raise right here.
He should absolutely raise
There
him.
it is.
It looks like he raises pretty big. I think Timmer should just go all in.
It's time to shove for Timmer, and Wheel's going to have to call.
Might pass out instead.
With only this is another one of those places where just having a smaller stack really helps.
Yeah, you could be against a 10, so you have to call with Queen Jack. It's not
Absolutely.
a great spot, but you do have to call.
Ace 10. When Timmer stack is this short, he could just. I mean, what if Timmer had the king queen of diamonds? He might bet and just shove because there's no one else to do.
The thing that sucks for Wheel, which he's thinking about now, is that if he's behind, he's drawing dead.
How much?
Yep. But I mean, Wheel made a committing size with his raise against Timmer's stack.
It's only 380 to call to win 1.7K.
Sometimes you're chopping, sometimes you're winning, sometimes you're losing. It doesn't matter. Get the chips and let's go. That could be said about any hand ever, but I mean, in this case specifically, you know you're losing a little bit of the time.
It just really sucks to have no redraw if you're behind.
Yep.
I don't know how I can get away from this.
We agree, Wheel. He's thinking about it.
Timmer's
This would be a hell of a fold. He's taking time.
Timmer's been very tight. He might think that Timmer would just call with a 10 when he raised there. But Timmer's stack demands a shove with all those types of hands.
I mean, what if you're chopping? You could certainly be chopping. You have to call if it's a chop
You
at
could
this
be getting
point.
free rolled by 2 of Timmer's combos.
That's okay.
2 of 3 because he doesn't have it offsuit.
Still, it's okay. It's only 20%.
I call.
Yeah, if you
It's too cheap. It's too cheap.
It honestly comes down to if Timmer has 10s or not. If Timmer doesn't have just trip 10s here ever, then you should fold. Because you're either getting free rolled 2/3 of the time or you're drawing dead.
Yeah. There's a 6 of diamonds. It is, as Grant was saying, inconsequential. Looks like Wheel won some chips, but really,
and
he's just taking back
look at
his
Timmer
change.
from 350, still with no reload on his original 1K buy-in. Now he's doubled up his stack from the original buy-in.
Shit is getting real in Timberland.
I love that.
Do you think when people see him, they go, Timber, like Timber?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I
You think when he walks into his favorite bar, everyone's like, Timmer! Like the people are like Norm and Cheers?
Is it
Timmer!
On Cheers, so it's like the same people are always there, they never leave, and somehow they never get drunk, no matter how much they drink? It's like that.
Huh.
And it's like
they're just functioning alcoholics.
They're just
man.
they're not sad. They're just like happy at the bar, going to the bar by themselves every day.
Cliff Laban seems pretty sad, don't you think? He's a mailman.
He's a skeptic. He's not sad.
He seems
Being a
pretty
skeptic and a man of the world.
He seems pretty
and a
sad.
man of reading.
All Norm does is complain about his wife and his home, and these guys are all escaping their lives. They
But
never
he's
are
always
anywhere else.
laughing.
They're sad.
He's having a wonderful time.
Band teacher has kings. Great way to end that little debate. Digital Dan gonna flat with Queen 10. At least he's on the button. It's just the two of them. Digital Dan better hope for a whole lot of flop here.
What's up with Frazier in that show?
I don't know, man.
Why is he up in there? Why'd he get
double
a spin-off?
gutter here for Digital Dan, and it's with an ace 2 is going to scare Band Teacher a little bit. Even
A
though he does
king would
bet.
be a real disaster for Band Teacher.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Digital Dan never folding, of course. And there's going to should be some opportunities to win this pot down the road. Spade is interesting.
That's bad for Dan. He doesn't want to see another one of those.
Yep. And Band Teacher does continue. There's no way Dan can fold on this card.
No, he could raise. Would not be crazy to raise here.
Yeah.
He'd be repping mostly flushes.
I mean, what flushes does Band Teacher have? You'd have to have the King Jack of spades, the King 10 of spades,
Which are both hands in his range. You might even
10
have
9 of spades.
He might have all those hands.
Digital Dan does raise.
I like the raise.
Me too.
Puts Band Teacher's aces in tough spots. Puts his
Totally.
current hand in a tough spot.
Because he has the King of spades, I don't think he's going to fold yet.
I think Dan should be betting the river no matter what.
I agree.
If Band Teacher calls, of course, which I imagine he will.
I think Dan should. I don't know if there's a card that can come that Dan shouldn't bet here. Maybe an ace. He could decide.
Maybe
to check.
an ace specifically.
That 6 feels like a clear bet for Dan.
Yeah, just
Size it up.
make it 650.
I was thinking 550, but sure.
It feels a lot like
You could
Band
even go.
Teacher.
You could even go 700 or 800. You could go pot here.
It feels a lot like Band
900.
Teacher has something like Ace Queen or Ace 10 with the 10 of spades or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Ace King with the King of spades. That's a reasonable hand. Dan, you have to take a shot here, though. If he heroes you, he heroes you.
He didn't take a shot against Joseph earlier when he
I
had
know.
8 high, and he regretted that.
This is a much bigger pot. Dan has raised the turn, so he's really rep strength. Here we go.
I like this a lot.
Got to size it up. Looks like it's like 5?
500, yeah.
That might be enough to do the trick. Yes, it is.
Certainly is. Nicely played by Dan.
Yep. Very reasonable fold there for a Band Teacher.
Yep.
Looks like he's up against a flush, almost or a set, but usually actually a flush.
It's
when Dan
really
raises
just
the turn,
flushes, yeah.
He does block it, but
If he wanted to get real above the rim, he could have check raised with the nut blocker.
that's true.
But that's not usually going to be a play that people make, and it's really risky.
Yep, and I think Dan has more flushes there than he does non-big hands.
Yeah.
Or non-bluffs.
I couldn't remember.
I should say bluffs. He's got a lot. He's got more made hands than bluffs there.
I'm driving a
Significantly more.
Yeah.
So that's another good. So I think it's probably a profitable fold for Band Teacher, even though that time he would have won.
And the tilting master of oboes has made it 20 under the gun blind.
There we go.
If you were to take lessons from Band Teacher, ooh, Wonka has queens. For
Go on.
one instrument
Yeah.
that is commonly played in high school band,
Yeah.
which instrument would you learn
Trombone.
and why?
Have you ever seen a trombone?
Yes.
You can. Those things are like they do everything. They go out. They come back in. You can attack people with them while you're playing. No one even knows you did it. They make those cool sounds.
Hey, take a look at this. We have a set of queens for Wonka, but nothing for Band Teacher.
Hey, if Band Teacher could hit a 7 or a 4 to make it interesting, I guess.
Wonka could check back, but usually he's going to bet.
Yeah, Wonka's usually betting here for sure. And I got to assume that's the end. These guys are so deep. But Band Teacher needs just a little more something to work with here. Just a little bit more. Too bad for Wonka.
I would learn the oboe because it's easy. And yeah, I hear all you oboe players out there who tell me, no, it's hard to learn. No, shut up. Everybody knows. 24 hours, I'll know the oboe. Up and down.
That's a classic misconception. Classic.
French horn? Give me a break.
You're from Chicago, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm from
classic. No one from Chicago thinks the oboe's hard to play, but
Maybe we're just better at it.
have you ever played the oboe?
If
Tell
I,
the truth.
No, but if I played it
Thank
tomorrow,
you.
I would be good at it.
Good at it relative to who?
Everybody. French horn also very easy.
Joseph with the jacks. Why are you including the French horn in
I'm
all
just
this?
letting you know that's also an easy one.
Why do you care?
I don't know why we have to assign regionalisms to.
You're the one
The
assigning
instruments.
regionalisms.
What are you talking about?
You're the only one who mentioned a geographical location.
You said French horn. What are you talking about?
Oh, French horn is a type of instrument. It has nothing to do with the French.
Oh, yeah, that's why it's called the French horn, because it has nothing
Oh, yeah,
to do with the
'cause
French.
French
That makes a
fries-
lot of sense.
French fries have to
They're
do with
modeled
French.
after the French. French fries are. You ever heard of frites?
Actually, French fries do have to do with the French, and I'll tell you about it after this hand.
Well, this is probably the last hand, so good luck.
Well, I
with that.
better do it. quick.
Overpair for Joseph. Band Teacher with the overcard in the gutter. Backdoor for Rafi.
Yeah, I think Joseph's just going to win this most of the time, right?
I think.
So back when Thomas Jefferson was president, he said to his personal chef, I would like potatoes fried in the French style
Yeah.
and a deep fried
Yeah.
in the French style. And that's how French fries were born.
Or maybe they were already, since it was the French style, maybe they were just like that. By the way, Joseph just called with jacks once again pre-flop. It's Rafi raised.
And Band Teacher called
one.
with his gut shot.
Band Teacher makes a pair.
It's not going to be a very fun pair.
Nope. He's going to lead it, though. This is, if you're going to play this hand, I think you're supposed to lead when the scare
This
card
is a
comes.
tough spot now for Joseph.
Yep.
This might just work.
You block one of Band Teacher's holdings that you'd most want him to have that he might play like this, which would be Jack 10, which sort of sucks. Guess he could have Queen 10.
Still on tilt, bud?
Yeah.
10 seconds.
You want to show me one?
We'll show you after the hand.
Band Teacher played that hand like a clarinet. Not easy to play.
Band Teacher talked him into a fold there.
I'm off tilt now.
I know, it's a good buff play.
That's going to do it for this episode.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys back next week for more of this session of Poker Time.
Poker time.
I didn't want to waste any. I only have